Hello everyone, my name is Jack Chen and I'm a senior student at Beijing National Day School. Today I'm going to talk about my performance task, biology and I. So first of all, in order to conceptualize my ideas, I have to answer the question below. First of all, I would like to talk about how my field, career, or passion is associated with biology. So I would like to explore mathematical modeling, data analysis, and computational statistics in relation with biology. Personally, I'm passionate about this because we are living in a world with massive data sets. All the data have to be analyzed and modeled so that it can be used as valuable source for human beings. Otherwise, it will be useless. So how I think this FCP relates with biology? I think that mathematical modeling and data collection relates to a specific branch of biology, virology. As COVID-19 pandemic outbreaks, we have more and more virus data, and all we have to do is to analyze it and make accurate prediction so that we can protect ourselves from it. So the specific lessons are virology, microbiology, mathematical modeling, specifically in biology. There are a few concepts in biology, such as spike glycoprotein, membrane glycoprotein, RNA, envelope. Coronavirus family has alpha, beta, delta, gamma, those branches, and positive strand RNA. The concepts in mathematical modeling is the logistic function or the exponential growth function. I think the principles that I can combine between biology and my FCP is multiplicity of infection, which is abbreviated as MOI, the virus single and multi-step growth cycles, logistic growth for coronavirus. And there are some world problems that I can use this concept to solve. Those problems are mainly concentrated in the pandemics, such as COVID-19, SARS virus. All those um, concepts can be utilized to solve those like macroscopic questions. For the solutions that I have in my mind, I have attempted to build a mathematical model to predict the growth of certain viruses such as COVID-19. And I also want to publicize the knowledge and to let the public know what the virus is and how to predict the virus growth and how to prevent ourselves from it. And have planned a solution that will kind of be successful. So specifically, it is if the virus growth function is compatible with current Chinese COVID-19 trend, then I will deem it as successful. So how do I know if it's the best solution currently possible? Um, I think this is not the best way solution currently possible, but it is a relatively accurate approximation for the real case. So, do you have future possible solutions in mind if any ample time, manpower, financial resources are available? I do have some future possible solutions in mind if I have ample time, manpower, financial resources, since I will dig deeper in virology and computational biology to learn more advanced approaches on solving various problems. So here it comes is in order to give your creative output, I will give a presentation on basic virology and a better approximated COVID-19 model. And how do I think this output can be creative? I think it combines both the knowledges in biology, which is virology, and the methodology in mathematics, which is the computer simulation and logistic growth. I do have other ideas in mind, but due to the lack of financial aid or academic resources I will not pursue them right now. I will use computer simulation, presentation, and several mathematical tools such as MATLAB to finish this presentation. I've put more than 6 hours for this creative output, and I'll figure out the main trend of COVID-19 outbreak and analyze its path. So here it comes to the creative output plus solution. So, first of all, I will go through the basic virology. The left graph describes basic influenza virus. At the very center of the virus, it has its RNA. At the outer part of the virus, it has envelope, and the middle part it has capsid, and the outer part also has a protein spikes. The the microscopic view of the virus has its head, DNA neck, tail, base plate, and field fiber. So it looks quite like a spider, right? And so for the coronavirus structure, it has a spike, it has a nuclear capsid, it has a membrane and envelope, and what's unique about it is it has a RNA viral genome. So the coronavirus disease, 2019, COVID-19 is a contagious disease caused by a virus. The severe acute res, respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2. The first known case was identified in Wuhan, China in December 2019. The disease spread worldwide, leading to the COVID-19 pandemic. So let's talk about more of the COVID-19 detail. The most recent common ancestor MRSA of all coronaviruses is estimated to have existed as recently as 8,000 BCE. Although some models place the common ancestor as far back as 55 million years or more, implying long-term coevolution with bat and avian species. The most recent common ancestor of the alpha coronavirus line has been placed about 2400 BCE, of the beta coronavirus line at 3300 BCE, and of the gamma coronavirus line at 2800 BCE, and so on. The bats and birds as warm-blooded flying vertebrates are an ideal natural reservoir for the coronavirus gene pool, and the large number and global range of bat and avian species that host viruses have enabled extensive evolution and dissemination of coronaviruses. So these graphs talk about like the transmission methods of the coronavirus. It can through the bats, the avian animals, and go to the large uh, cattle such as sheep, the pigs, and so on. So I'll talk about like how to use the coronavirus data sets that the amount of people who has been have this coronavirus to make a prediction. And this prediction is about a relatively accurate approximation of the coronavirus trend. So the capital NT represents the total number at time t, and the interval capital NT is about the increase in a certain amount of time. And we like differentiate the capital NT, and we get alpha NT. And so go through my computer simulation, I figure out that the capital NT is equal to a constant times the exponential growth of alpha t. And for the coronavirus, I collect the number of the diseases that in China. And I use a logistic curve, which is the best representation of the coronavirus outbreaks in China. So like at about 2019 December, and the coronavirus initiated. And for like it consists about like half month, it has a relatively steady growth. But in the 1 month that start from the very end of January to the middle of the February, it has a inflection growth, like which represents it's a very insanely exponential growth at that time. And then due to like the housing shutdown, the government has certain policies on restricting the spread of the viruses. It comes to the saturation stage for the past um the few months beginning from the February. And so applying those logistic curve, I approximate the main concepts, the statistics of the logistic curve to frame like a NT function, and I just differentiate the capital NT. And so like it's about the constant C times the capital NT divided by A. So the capital A is like the maximum disease that can be infected to people, and it times 1 minus nt divided by capital A. So the solution is about this curve. So it initiates with exponential growth, and then it comes to the inflection point, and then it becomes relatively steady again because it comes to the saturation stage. So this is probably all about my presentation. Thanks you all for listening.